okay. This girl's name is Martina. She's from Norway. She's got the coolest, like, crafting place in the world. You know, this isn't the room. I think she made it after this particular video, but she lost her pinky finger because she makes cool nerdy stuff like armor and weapons, and she crafts things. And the name of her channel is NerdForge. And I was like, what happened to her finger? And you guys linked it. So we're going to watch how she lost her finger and she made a new one. That's how cool she is. What's up, DEF CON? Thank you. By the way, we're having ourselves a little fundraiser if you want to help out. We'll talk about that a little bit later.
As some of you might have noticed, either immediately or after years, I'm missing a finger on my left hand. My little finger is now an even littler finger. What happened, Martina? Well, as much as I enjoy reading all your weird theories on what happened, what actually happened was that 6 years ago we were doing some home renovations, and I was just gonna make this nice little shelf thing. It was gonna be the last thing we did for the day, and then boom! Table saw accident. And no.
Table saw accident, man. Ooh. We had a kid in our class. I was in building trades as a kid. We had a kid named Mark. I won't say his last name, but we had this dude named Mark. And he didn't use the little push that you're supposed to on the table saw. Use his hands, and it, like, the wood, like, dragged his finger into it, and he did the same thing, cut off his, like, when I saw her pinky, it literally reminded me of Mark, because I saw the dude cut his finger off on a table saw, and it was disgusting. And we had to get the ambulance in. There was tons of bleeding. He was in shock. It was traumatic, dude. I remember it.
I'm not gonna get into all the little details. I'm trying to keep it PG.
That's why I'm here, by the way. You're welcome. There is a reason why you watch. I'm giving you all the details.
Suffice to say, it was a 0 out of 10 experience.
Yep.
Would not recommend. No. But in the end, I'm just thankful for Norway's free healthcare and all the great doctors and hospital staff who tried to save my finger. It just couldn't and wouldn't be saved. After 2 weeks at the hospital and a couple of months retraining my remaining fingers, I was left with this hand with this huge scar going across.
That's insanity. Like, she had to retrain her hand, because that's interesting, because when you lose your pinky, you have to retrain the other fingers. I wonder if they just lose, like what would happen to him, you know? Like that, oh man, I would never want to know.
All my fingers here, this slightly wonky ring finger that can't really extend or retract properly. Some nerve damage to all my fingers, which makes it impossible for me to find things in my pocket because I can never tell what I'm touching. And also this huge scar on my forearm from some blood vessel and skin transplants from when they tried to save my finger, contrary to some people's beliefs. All in all, it hasn't really been a big problem because I can still do all the things I enjoy doing, thankfully. And also, I'm right-handed. Double thankfully. But there are certain minor inconveniences I hadn't really thought of before. Like, for example, supporting my phone, or scooping dirt off the table, or just trying to hold several small objects.
Oh, that pinky's really important, isn't it? You never think that the pinky's really important until you're listening to this. It's like it finishes off all the cupping kind of actions that need to happen with your hand. Like, if you don't have your pinky, this would be difficult.
At once, or lifting heavy things, because essentially I just have 3 working fingers on this hand, or crouching in video games without rebinding the keys, or wearing gloves. Do you see how floppy this is? I did gain a pretty cool party trick though.
Oh, that is pretty funny.
I'm sorry, I had to see that.
That is funny.
Anyway, I want to try to solve all these little problems and at the same time become a cool looking cyborg. So the plan is to make a super cyberpunky glove with a working, extending finger and maybe even some built-in lights. I mean, come on. Of course, I'm gonna add lights if I can. Like, how could I not? But before we get fancy, we just have to make a basic 3D printed finger that just works. That can
I want to watch the episode where she makes that cool, her whole new NerdForge. So somebody link that in the Discord for me, because that's the one I want to watch next week, where she creates her amazing Hobbit style Lord of the Rings NerdForge that she upgraded to. Somebody please link that in the Look at This DG section so we can watch that next week.
Bends and extend. And I'm gonna use Nick's prosthetic finger as my starting point, which is an open source project that aims to, make it accessible for people to 3D print their own prosthetic fingers. I'll leave a link to them down below because they're awesome. So first, basic finger, and then make it fancy and aesthetic. Yes.
I love the style of her channel. She's got a really good recipe for success here. I like how she kind of explains things. She's very kind of perky and positive, and the hair color, super colorful, really brilliant, intelligent, super geeky. I love that. And then she stops and she does these little montages where she builds, and that's such a really good recipe. It really is a great viewing experience.
All right, first finger assembled. So let's do a little test fit.
What?
That looks so cool, man. Oh my God. I already feel like a robot.
Oh my goodness. Look at her. She's so happy. That is the coolest thing in the world. You are kidding me. Check that out. That is so cool.
Oh man. Oh my God. I already feel like a robot.
She's so happy.
It's not perfect, but it's something. The mechanism in this finger that makes it work is actually kind of cool. So in each of the knuckles here, there is an elastic that makes sure that when the hand is in upright position, it goes back up, it springs back up. And then there's a fishing line connected to this wristband here that goes through the entire finger to the tip. So if I pull that, it works as a tendon that closes the finger.
Wow.
So the finger then moves with the rest of the hand. So when I close it, it closes, open. It's just such a well-made mechanism, and it's just fun to do this. I can clap with one finger. You hear that? I'm gonna make some minor adjustments to the 3D model because you can see this part is a bit too long because it doesn't line up with the rest of my hand and it doesn't work perfectly yet. I'm gonna do some adjustments, and I also got myself a pair of gloves. I thought for the next one, let's just try to attach it to the glove. See if we can have a glove. I can just go and then, yeah, that'd be cool. New 3D print glove.
That's how long it takes these days, Scrizz.
I spent all day yesterday making this whole new finger, attaching it to glove, filmed everything was great, progress, awesome, and then memory card corrupted. Instead, here's a quick reconstruction of all the work I did yesterday. First off, I fixed the 3D model to make the finger socket shorter, and the time lapse of that is the only thing that survived from yesterday, so please enjoy. Then I 3D printed all the parts again, sanded the new socket so it would fit the other parts, figured I was lazy, so I reused all the parts from the previous finger instead of assembling a new one, and then chopped up a glove and glued the finger.
Oh, this girl is great. This girl is absolutely great.
To the glove. And here we are. We have a glove with an attached finger.
Wow.
Nice. So the new socket I 3D printed definitely fixed the problem of the knuckles lining up. It's not perfect still, but I don't think I can make it any shorter anyway, so it's pretty close. Much better than the first one. It's hard to tell now that I've glued the finger to the glove, but the length difference between the first base knuckle and this one is like that. The first knuckle basically lined up with the second one on this new one, so this length is just much better. And also the glove attachment just makes it so much easier to take on and off. At least when I get rid of this wristband. Improvements are being made. Very nice.
Wow.
There's just one more problem I want to fix before we get into the aesthetics, which is this wristband here. It's just not really that practical. So I'm thinking I could print a back plate that I can have on my hand here that can kind of hold the fishing line in place and have a little screw on the back plate that I can tighten it with. And then instead of having this elastic here, I'm just gonna have like some, the thing you close children's shoes with.
Shoelace.
Borrelås around the wrist to tighten it. Yeah, so more blender. More 3D stuff.
she's crafting this, man. Like, look, she's refining it. She's making it better and better and better. This girl is like an engineer, man. This is great.
Boy.
This is awesome. And then she does these cool little montages again. I would, this is awesome. This is just so awesome. I said a shoelace you. I get why you think
There's
I don't get it sometimes.
It fits my hand pretty nicely, and it has this little hole in the front here for the fishing line, and a little tightening screw on the side.
I was just thinking about tying my kids' shoes when they were little.
There, super glue. Nice. And now the fishing line. I should have attached it while I had my hand in a fist, because this placement is not good. Like, there's a huge gap here. Just gotta take it off and on again. Ugh, I hate super glue. That's better, I think. And now the fishing line.
She's the MacGyver of our
fingertip
century.
Back on here.
She's a female MacGyver.
It works.
Oh my gosh.
And honestly, I think that
first off, she's got such a mischievous laugh. I love her laugh.
Works better than the wristband because this part is heightened a little bit. The fishing line gets tightened more, so it feels like it closes better, and also it looks 10 times more cool. And now everything's attached to the glove. Do you see that? But even though this second version is looking pretty good so far, there are still some issues and room for improvements. But now, before we move on, it's time for an ad for Millinotes. You can stick in a basic command for reviews, you copy it or bit out of the whole limit. And there, at least a little it points. Now, here yourself. And back to the project. Now, here is an overview of the finger mechanism. And there are several points in which improvements may be made. First off, the stump socket. At this point, it is currently a little bit too small and a little bit too uncomfortable. So let's...
All right, I just find this way too attractive. This girl is way too attractive on too many levels for me. I don't even know if I can handle watching the rest of this. This girl is the perfect craftsperson, the perfect engineer, the perfect amount of nerd. She probably loves games. I can't even write. I'm having a moment here where it's just too much attraction right now. Christy, I love you. I love you, Christy. I love you.
Let's make it a little less tight, just make it a bit wider, give it some more space for a little bit of padding, and then there is the tip knuckle. You can see those two little holes there. Those two, well, this part around it is a little bit too small because it keeps on breaking. I'm thinking if we just take this top part, we just widen it a bit, maybe it won't break on me all the time. That'd be nice. I also think the bending motion itself could be improved. So the fishing line...
It's just like, it's the perfect combination of everything. She should have like 100 million subscribers. What is she at right now? She's only at 3 million subscribers. I would imagine this girl would already be at 100 million subscribers, since the majority of people watching YouTube right now, I think, are men, is according to demographics and analytics. I think that there's a large viewing male population right now, and I'm surprised that she does not have 100. She's checked all the boxes like 15 times for most dudes. I don't know if I can stand this level of attraction.
I
need to block this off.
The problem is because it has to go around there, and then the wheel right there. The tendon has to travel.
I can't deal with it. I just can't.
So I want to try to integrate this tiny little LED filament into the fingertip itself. See, we can just make a hole at the tip here, and then we can just stuff the LED in there.
It's NerdForge.
But this LED is going to need a 3-volt battery to be powered and a momentary switch button to be turned off and on. And that's a lot of things to stuff in one little hand. Well, my friend, anything is possible in Blender. See, we can just pop some holes in there and then just design a probably very overcomplicated mechanism just to push in the button, and we are left with a nice mechanism that has a power source and an on and off switch. Very nice. Cool. So guess we just have to 3D print then.
I love this 3D printer. I love this 3D printer. Look at all these. Just a small army. Okay, this glove is just killer. This is crazy. How can you not love this?
Version 3 complete. Well, the main difference here is just we have an LED in the front and this little panel here that keeps all the electronics inside. Let's give it a test fit. Velcro to hold it in place. Yes, this is definitely a much more clunky version, but I think it looks kind of cool. So this plate holds the battery and the momentary switch button, and I made a custom fit lid on top just to keep everything in place. So if I turn this wheel and I slide this thing down, it holds the wheel in place, so the button is being pushed in. The little slider keeps it from bouncing back, and then we have lights. And the light is custom fit into the tiny little fingertip. I'm not like a pro at Blender or anything, so I think it's kind of cool that I managed to do all of this. What was very difficult to
I wonder what women feel towards this woman. We have some women in our chat right now. Women, please, can you tell me how you feel about this woman? Like, are you happy about her? Do you absolutely hate her? Like, I would just love to hear from Mary right now. Elsie's gone, but like, is there any other women in the chat right now? I would love to hear what your opinion of her is. I want to hear if women hate her. Okay, let's go easy. All right, white. See, women. Even women love her.
Fix was the tiny little wires for the LED, because first I wanted it to go on the inside of the finger, but you know that just caused the finger to not bend, which is an essential part of what a finger does. So instead I put them on the outside here, but that really just made it look more cyberpunky. So I think I'm gonna keep that for the final design. I'm just gonna integrate it more so it looks like it's done on purpose. This design is not final at all. It's very clunky and unelegant. So that's what we're gonna fix. Elegantify it.
Version 4.
Since the functionality was already there, I just went back into Blender and I took the models and I made them nice and aesthetic. Just added details, made them look cool, and I've 3D printed them, and here they are. So I've really just like made little greebles and little fake cables and stuff.
Dude.
And I think the design turned out quite nice. So the goal now is really just to take these 3D prints and try to make them look like metal. So it's time to make final glove, the one glove to rule.
Oh my God, I know who she reminds me of. I literally know who she reminds me of. This is it. This is the whole time. This is exactly who she reminds me of. I'm like, what? I had to type it in while I was watching, and I was like, here we go. This is totally Vi, or V. I don't know. I pronounce it V. I've always pronounced it V, but I've heard some people say Vi. But from League of Legends, she's total V from League of Legends, man. Like, this is it. This is it. Real life.
That we have to start with sanding. My favorite thing to do. Sanding complete. Look at these things. Very.
Is it 6? Or you could be like DG360, an old boomer who caused 6 V or Vi, which are totally the wrong names. My entire life been playing League of Legends, and now just learned this from my own audience. Thank you very much, audience. Sometimes I'm really not in it. Sometimes, you know, you guys gotta bring me down and be like, DG, you know, you're living up in the clouds, DG. You're living up in the clouds.
Smooth, very nice. So now we're gonna put on a layer of clear coat just to make it nice and shiny and glossy.
E-Red says I put solid vibes on myself.
Spray Max, das Spritzwerkzeug, 2K clear coat. Let's go. We've tried experimenting a little bit with different finishes on these 3D parts. These two boys right here, one of them is electroplated with actual metal. Like, we've taken metal and putting it on top of a 3D part. Like, how cool is that? It's now covered in one layer of copper and then some palladium on top to give it that silver finish. And it is most definitely so much heavier than the counterpart that is not covered in metal. The only thing I'm a bit worried about with metal plating everything is that this is a mechanical finger. Like, this has to bend nicely, and also it adds a lot of weight to it. So the combination of having a thicker skin and also being heavier might impede on the motion itself. But there is another option, and it's called Duralumin. It is this really cool silver paint. I mean, it's not real silver, but it looks very convincing. It looks like metal. Ooh. And using this, we avoid adding another thick layer on top of the clear coat, and also it keeps the original weight so it doesn't become so heavy. So for now, I think we're gonna go with Duralumin, but I can promise you we're doing electroplating in the future. And that means it's finally time. Let's build this thing.
Listen, everything about this channel is killer, man. Brilliant. The final glove is complete! Look how cool it turned out! That is such a huge upgrade from the third version. Wow. This looks so clunky and ugly in comparison. Wow. Not to mention the first one, I mean, so sad. In addition to this version, which has the LED at the fingertip, I also made this one. It's basically the same, just without the LED. It's a little less clunky and I think just more usable for everyday life. So now the question is just, is this thing actually practical? Like, can I actually use it to solve any of my problems? Or do you mean Mark First, V? Let's just try the phone thing. Thank you, Chris. It actually can support my phone. It holds it. That actually works much better than I thought it would. I thought it right when you said it.
Even if I do this, it doesn't fall down.
I thought it right when you said it, Chris.
Huh, okay. Cool.
Timing, bro.
Phone works. What about, I have to find something small. A lot of small things. Hold on. You get a surprising amount of support just from this little finger. Like, it keeps everything from falling off. Oh. Obviously, that makes a difference. Come on. It's even like a hook that keeps it in place. It's just like, hey, it's hugging it, keeping it inside. Oh, thank you, my little friend. I'm wondering, like, what's it like just picking stuff up? Grab this.
Wow. That's
I just love how it bends around it. Oh. Give me more objects. Something round.
That's awesome.
What about something bigger? I mean, it doesn't have any proper gripping power because the only power there really is in the stump itself. And like, that's limited. What about
a rubber pad
scooping dirt off the table? Hold on, I actually cleaned now, so I have to find some dirt and put it on the table. Oh no, look at all the dirt. And now, if I scoop it, it actually helps. Oh, yes. Because now there is no edge. There is actually something that cups it in. I guess one downside is that there's a glove here, so I get the dirt on the glove, but let's ignore that. I don't actually think it's gonna make a difference with carrying heavy things because it doesn't do anything for my gripping strength and there's no actual strength in the finger itself, so it's a passive kind of support. Let's try the keyboard. Let's just try to push a button. Can I actually? Come on, I'm holding shift. Oh God. Sticky keys, yes, of course. I can type, I don't think it's gonna do anything for the crouching thing. There's one more thing I wanna try, which is putting on a glove. This is gonna be interesting. Some gloveception going on here.
Oh, that's adorable, man.
At least it's not flopping anymore.
That's adorable.
That is so dumb. Why would I ever?
That's adorable.
In conclusion, it doesn't really help with the tasks that require muscles, that actually requires pressure, but it does help with just the support tasks, like scooping dirt or holding the phone, so that's pretty cool. But let's not forget, we also have a light to test out. I think with this light, it's gonna be most useful when you have to like look into very, very tight places that are dark. Let's say I somehow drop something under here and I just wanna see what's going on there. I can just go twist, bloop, and we have lights. And I can just go, and that actually works. I'm having a hard time filming this, but see, I can squeeze it in there,
handy.
and it lights up.
Handy.
That's pretty cool.
Sorry,
it might not be the most useful thing ever. I think it might have been more useful if I had lost like my middle finger or my pointy finger or something, but I definitely think I'll be using it from time to time anyway. Do you see how cool this is? I mean, I've been wanting to do this forever and I'm super, super happy with the result. Just
awesome.
Anyway,
Awesome.
Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this interesting, funny, weird, one of those. Also, a huge thank you to our patrons for continuing to support.
The algorithms, our very own algorithms, spelled with rhythm, dance, love, found this. And this is the second time we've watched a video from NerdForge. I think we'll watch even more from NerdForge. I dig this girl, Martina. She's smart. She's pretty. She's funny. Everything in one package. And it's just, I have to shield my eyes because I love Christy. And also, at the very end of this, I wanted you guys to know we are having a fundraiser for this beautiful mother and her daughter. Her name is Crystal and the daughter's name is Athena. We're having a fundraiser. I will put the link down in the description when this highlight goes out if we're still not met our goal. We're almost there. We collected over $100 here on this stream, so we almost got her to her goal. She's having issues and with her health insurance, so we're helping her out here on DG360, we'll get her. We'll get her there. So let's get back to the show.